So this is the Microsoft Power BI desktop, and as you know, we're going to recent sources, and that enables us to access our OLE connection. So expand the node until you see the database. I'm using this will remote, and then it's under DBO where you see all the tables, and of course remember you've got to scroll down to where they're preceded by TBL. These are the actual SQL data tables. So we need activity, contact and opportunity, and then we need the link tables, so that's contact opportunity and contact activity, and this is going to enable us to identify opportunities and then look at the activity date associated with the contact that is the owner of that opportunity, because we know that activities haven't always been recorded in ACT against the opportunity, which is why we need to link it through the contact. We're also going to bring in the table which is user, so we can identify who owns opportunities, and also activity table includes details of the activity but not the progress of that activity, such as whether it's been cleared or whether it's been deleted and such like. So there's another table that we want to bring in for that information, which is table accessor activity, so that's table accessor activity. Within the activity table there is a reference to the type of activity, a call or meeting, but it's only a number, and we want to express that in the dashboard as the actual name of the activity that people can identify with, as in call, meeting, etc. So we want to bring in that table activity type as well. Now all these tables have a natural relationship and association with each other, so by bringing them all in, Microsoft Power BI is clever enough to recognise the relationship between those tables and put the links in automatically using the unique references in each table. But we can check that by looking at the map, and so you can see now here's each of the tables that's been brought in. You can drag these around to position them where you like, and it will show you the link that's been built between each of the relational tables. So that looks all good. They've all been associated correctly with the corresponding table, or multiple tables if necessary. So yeah, I think we can go ahead and build a dashboard from that structure. So returning to the worktop, first thing I'm going to do is add a visualization. We'll just use a simple table in this case, and we're going to bring in opportunities, and then we'll create a second table and bring in activities that are associated with contacts who own those opportunities. So in the opportunity table, first of all, we go to the list of tables on the right, expand the opportunities one, and I'm scrolling down to name to bring in the opportunity name. You can see that's been added already as the first column in the table, and then going into the contact table because I want to display the corresponding contact name and the contact company name in the same table. So we're building a table now with columns from two different SQL database tables, the opportunity table and the contact table, and they're being linked by the tables that we brought in earlier on. I'm just going into the formatting control just to make this font a little bit bigger here, because it's very small when you first introduce it. It comes in at pixel size of 8, and my eyesight's not good enough to be able to see what that looks like. So I'm just going to change the font size of the values and also the headers to 14, 16, just make it a bit more easy to see. Okay, so we've got 2 or 3 simple columns in there, but it's displaying all the opportunities. I only want to include ones that are open, so I'm going to drag the status field from the opportunity table onto the filters area and click on open to reduce the field of view to only include open opportunities. I want to now create another table, so on the visualizations panel I'm clicking to create a new table, and this is where I'm going to bring in corresponding activities. So the data I need is from, first of all, the activity table. Let's bring in the, what should we do? The start time, which is the date that that activity is due. So I'm dropping that onto the values. You can see it kind of awkwardly brings in year, quarter, month, but if you click on start time, you can change it to start time, as in the type of structure that it presents the data in, which is merely a date followed by the time. And then I'm just going to change the size of the font again to 14 just to make it a bit more easy to see. I'll do the same with the column headers. We need a bit more information, I think, in this table, don't we? So we've got the activity start date. I'm now going to bring in the, tell you what we'll do, I want to see the type, so we'll go into table activity type and bring in name, which of course, because the table is activity type, it's the name of the type of activity, so call, meeting, to do, etc. I want to drop that on the filters as well, because I only want to see calls. What else do we need? Let's bring in the regarding field from the activity, just to give us a bit more information that helps us to understand what the follow-up action is going to be. And I guess we could also bring in the corresponding name of the company and the contact as well. So we're just dragging those fields into the values area as we did before. So we've got an opportunity visualization and an activity visualization where there's a link between the two by virtue of the contact and its activity. So the interaction between the two will allow us to control what each one sees. But before we show that, let's just bring in as a filter from the accessor area cleared dates and select so that the activity table only shows records where the cleared date is blank, suggesting that they would be open. So you can see here, if we click on an opportunity name, it would show the corresponding opportunities, activities with that opportunity.